Welcome to another edition of DocAndDo Training. In this edition, we're going to cover how to create a process. Now, you have probably seen a process similar to this. You've gotten some process like in this. I'm going to do an example here called Make Breakfast. You've seen things like, gather ingredients, prepare food, steps 1, 2, 2.1, 2.2. You've seen things like this before, and you may even have it like this in a Word document or somewhere. We're going to show you how to put this into the DocAndDo environment so that you can very, very quickly have access to this type of information with the click of a button and have it available not only on your iPad or iPhone, but have it available on the web as well. So you have it in a number of different ways, real-time communication, the whole 9 yards. So this probably looks somewhat familiar here in the sense that this is how a lot of people document the things they have. They'll lay it all out step by step of what they do. They'll put the procedure in place of what it is at each level, and they'll do things like that. And maybe you're not even to that level yet, but that's okay. What I'm going to show you is how you can get to this level. So let's get into the training. First and foremost, I've created an example right here inside the DocAndDo platform. So you'll see that I'm logged in. I'm under one of the entities called My Company Rename Me. That's the default template you would see coming into your system. Now, here is the process management. Under here, I'm going to use this type versus the steps because this is more simple for the small and medium business who does not require any sort of ISO 9001 certifications or lean or manufacturing or Six Sigma, any of those types of things. This is what most places like accountancies, legal firms, mom and pop stores, and other entities that are on the rise and growing. This is how we would do it. So what I've done is I've selected the process management using a document type. Now, a document type allows us to put text into the form. So for example, we've got Make Breakfast, and in here we have the Make Breakfast. I've loaded everything up already from here to here. I'm going to create one for you live and show you exactly how I did it so that you'd see how simple and easy it is to get all the information that you want in here as well. So, and I've taken the example, I've broken it down, so if you look right here at all of this right here, you will see we've got our Make Breakfast is the process, and we've got gather ingredients, right? We've got preparing the food, and if I click on here, you'll see that we've got the cook bacon, cook eggs, toast the bread, fry potatoes, and serve the prepared food, just like we have it here in our document. So we use the hierarchy to do our outline. That's going to give us the granularity in communication, because if I put this all in under one and I just dump everything into one section, any changes made to any of these will only get reflected as Make Breakfast was changed. But if I make a change here to cook eggs, and maybe I'm going from scrambled to easy over, I can put that information in here. So when I'm clicking on here and I make the change in this section here, all of these followers right here will be notified that that changed, and it'll say the cook eggs changed in the My Company entity. Why is that important? Because in granularity is how we communicate with speed. That's how you know what's getting done, when it's getting done, and you'll know the types of things that you need to be aware of. So with no further ado, let's move on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select a test entity. So I have this let's see, which one is it? It's the test profile company. So I've created a test profile, and I'm going to click on the process management. Now you will know that you'll see that there is no bacon and egg process right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create that. So the first and foremost, I'm going to come here and I'm going to add a first level section, and I'm going to call it Make Breakfast. And I'll just put this here as we know this is an example. Okay? So here we go, we've got Make Breakfast, right? Now, I need to create the hierarchy for this. So I'm going to come here and add a subsection. You'll notice the pull downs on every line item. I have that. I'm working on this line item. I'm going to add a subsection. And this one's called Gather Ingredients. And I'm going to save and add another. And then I've got Prepare Food. And save and add one more. Then we've got Serve Prepared Food. Okay, so we've got our three top level ones. Now under Prepared Food, you'll see we've got 2.1, 2.3, and 2.4. Let's go ahead and get that hierarchy. So notice I'm on this line item. I come in here, I put that in. So now I've got cooked bacon, I've got cook eggs, I've got toast bread. Oops, toast bread. And lastly, I've got fry potatoes. And I click save. So now I've got the structure here that I have here, right? So now the very first thing I'm going to want to do is I come back to this very top level item here, and I have some information that I would like here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this right here, and in this description here, I want to say this information here. I'm going to dump in this. So as the description for making breakfast, I need to know, decide what to cook. Scrambled eggs, toast, crisp bacon, pan-fried potatoes, determine the ingredients needed, eggs, milk, bread, butter, bacon, potatoes, plates, utensils, cookware, etc. What do I need to do all of this? And I'm going to want to do that. So you're going to want to do that for your processes. So I'm going to go ahead and add in another section here that I've got. And this time it's going to be under the section data. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy, open that up, hit paste, and save. And there it is. Now it's in here. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to gather ingredients, because now we're on 1.0, right? So what I'm going to do on gather ingredients is I am going to grab all of this from here. Right here. Come in here, edit the section, and paste. And then now I can come here and do any formatting that I would want to do. Now, in this case, this is pulling it in from here because this is typed in. I could, and I do recommend you do this in some cases because you're changing things. I come here, and what I'll do is I will add in the numbering. This way, and I'll clean it up. The reason I do this is because then if I want to come in and make changes later, it's a lot easier for me because I can insert things wherever I want, and it keeps it nice and tight so that it just keeps the sequence the way I want it. And then if there's any formatting you want, like if you want your items like action verbs, if you want to highlight or bold them, a lot of times I'll do stuff like that. And the reason I'll bold something like this is it draws attention to what action the person needs to take, right? You're going to get something, you're going to get something, you're going to place something, you're going to place something, you're going to get something, right? So really what we're doing here is we're gathering ingredients and we are assembling them in a place that we want. So we hit save, and there we have it. Now we have the description, we have the procedure itself, and we have this. Notice we're in a section text type editor, and that gives us the ability to do this in a very easy way, and it's going to keep a nice revision history. So if I choose to make a change to this, it will capture it here, and I can always see what was different between the two. Next, we've got prepare food, right? So we're on this section here, and we've got a little bit of information that we are going to pull in here. And when we pull that in before we get to the 2.1, so you'll see that this does not take very long to get a process into the system. So remember, we're just putting the stuff in here. Let's give it a save and take a look. That works for us right now. We don't have to get into any more fancy like underlining this, but you can get to as much structure to this as you want, as much formatting as you want, and that could be helpful when you're getting ready to print. So it depends on whether or not this is something you would ever print or not, and whether you want to format it. So now let's get into cook bacon, right? So now we're down to the bacon. So you can see that we're just coming along here, we're grabbing our information, we're heading it in, and we're going to paste. So now I pop this in. There's my cooked bacon. Again, I could come back in. For time's sake, I'm not going to come in and do that. But remember, I can set these all up as use ordered numbering, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 and change that out and clean that up. And I could highlight this. For speed, I'm just going to go through here to show you how quick and easy it is to take information that you've already got somewhere or stuff you're thinking of creating and do it here. Now, I do recommend in any of your processes, as you're doing that, as you see me coming through here, I recommend that what you end up doing is recording it down somewhere on a text editor somewhere so you can quickly come and grab it and then paste it in. I wouldn't jump right in here and start typing in here, although you could. I think from an efficiency perspective, which is this, we're all about saving time and making this fast and easy for everybody, I would recommend that you just do it that way. So, with that being said, let's keep moving along. We're almost done here. You'll notice that we are just a couple steps away. And here we go. We've got that one in there. And then lastly, we got prepare serve food. And we now have a full process called make breakfast. Oh, we definitely have to bold this because I don't know about you, but as I'm going through this, I'm really getting hungry. So what we've done is we've made this process called here. If I were to navigate around and somebody needed this information, I simply click here and I'm like, oh, what do I need to do? I'll decide what to cook. Oh, you must know what you're going to end up with in order to know what you need, right? So this is just some little process instruction. I'm like, okay, well, what do I need to do for this thing? Well, from an outline perspective, I can see it pretty clear. I gather my ingredients, I prepare my food, cook bacon, cook eggs, toast the bread, fry the potatoes, and I serve it. Great. Well, if I don't already know how to do all these items, I might want to look at it. Like in preparation, I might say, oh yeah, that's right. Bacon's going to take 11 to 13 minutes, potatoes 13 to 17. I better start the potatoes first, then put the bacon on its own utility because I don't want to cook them in succession because I'll have cold potatoes or cold bacon depending on which one I put on first. So the whole thing is that you want to make sure that your processes are built and aligned so that your outputs are exactly what you expect. In this case, I want to make a hot breakfast because I'm using hot items, bacon, eggs, and potatoes should be hot. I want to make sure my timing is right. So again, these are the types of things you can do. Very simple, very straightforward. It does not take any major effort to put this stuff in here. It's very fast and easy, and we are done.